In a world where filters, flawless angles, and unrealistic beauty standards reign supreme, it's rare to witness a genuine moment of authenticity. That's why Dakota Johnson's recent appearance in all of its unpolished, natural beauty struck such a powerful chord with fans across the internet. She didn't pose, edit, or conform to Hollywood's narrow molds. Instead, she simply showed up as herself, and the result wasn't controversy or backlash, but admiration. People didn't just see an actress, they saw a woman embracing her body with confidence and ease. This moment wasn't about chasing fashion trends or generating viral drama. It was about representation, self acceptance, and the quiet strength of simply being yourself. Dakota's appearance was a reminder that real beauty doesn't need permission, and sometimes being unapologetically yourself is the boldest statement of all. Dakota Johnson and the power of showing up. Naturally, Dakota Johnson has never been the type of celebrity to demand attention with flashy antics or constant headlines, and that's exactly why her recent viral moment resonated so deeply with fans. In an industry obsessed with perfection, endless retouching, and curated appearances, she chose something radically different: authenticity. The photo that ignited the conversation wasn't staged or edited to perfection. It was a candid shot of Dakota simply existing in her own skin, comfortable, unapologetic, and unbothered. There was no attempt to overperform or create a spectacle. That quiet self assurance spoke louder than any glamorous red carpet gown could. What made the moment powerful wasn't the clothing she wore, but the decision not to explain, defend, or justify herself. She didn't frame it as a statement, it just naturally became one. By simply showing up as herself, Dakota reminded everyone that true confidence doesn't come from conformity, it comes from self acceptance. Why this moment felt different in Hollywood. Hollywood has long been a space where bodies are curated, corrected, and controlled, especially for women. Every detail is carefully measured: posture, makeup, wardrobe, even body shape. The industry thrives on creating the illusion of perfection. That's why Dakota Johnson's appearance felt like a breath of fresh air. It wasn't loud or intentionally provocative, it was normal, and that's what made it revolutionary. Audiences are used to seeing celebrities as near untouchable ideals, sculpted by stylists, edited photos, and precise lighting. Dakota's moment was different because she rejected all of that. She didn't try to meet the industry's beauty standards. She embraced her natural body with grace, showing up exactly as she is. This simple act of self acceptance challenged an industry that profits from insecurity and reminded everyone that even the stars in Hollywood are human. Bodies change, they breathe, and they exist beyond the perfection that is often expected. That visual shift was as emotional as it was empowering. Fashion without illusion or apology. What Dakota wore during this viral moment mattered, but not for the reasons we usually associate with celebrity fashion. It wasn't designed to shock, set trends, or make headlines. It mattered because it didn't hide or alter her body. It followed her natural shape without exaggeration or concealment. There were no gimmicks, no intricate tailoring to create an illusion of a perfect figure, and no attempt to distract from reality. Instead, Dakota's outfit was simple, understated, and honest. In a world where clothing is often used to hide perceived flaws, to correct or reshape, Dakota's fashion choice felt radical in its effortlessness. She didn't dress to manipulate perception or meet others' expectations. She dressed to feel comfortable in her own skin. This distinction is subtle but profound. By prioritizing comfort, authenticity, and personal ease over expectation, Dakota redefined what it means to look confident. Style, in this instance, wasn't about performing for an audience. It was about embodying who she was naturally. The internet's emotional response says everything. The online reaction to Dakota Johnson's appearance was unlike any typical celebrity moment. Instead of sparking controversy or critique, social media flooded with emotional responses. Fans didn't question whether Dakota looked right or scrutinize her appearance for imperfections. Instead, they responded with gratitude, relief, and recognition. Many expressed how seeing her embrace her natural body made them feel more comfortable with their own. That type of response is rare in today's digital age. Usually, viral moments trigger division, judgment, or intense scrutiny. But Dakota's moment had the opposite effect. It felt like permission, an unspoken affirmation that it's okay to simply be yourself. In a digital culture often dominated by comparison, unrealistic standards, and the pressure to look perfect, Dakota's natural presence became a quiet rebellion. For a moment, social media transformed from a space of insecurity into a place of shared recognition and validation. It didn't make people feel smaller, it made them feel seen and understood. Quiet confidence over loud statements. What made Dakota Johnson's moment so compelling was the way it felt so effortless. There was no press release, no captions explaining her choice, and no branding around her authenticity. She didn't attempt to draw attention to herself or frame her appearance as a political statement. She simply showed up as she was, and that quiet confidence carried more weight than any flashy declaration could. In an industry where women are often expected to justify their appearance, Dakota offered no explanation. She didn't apologize for existing. She didn't position herself as a hero for embracing her natural self. Instead, her decision not to perform for approval made the moment feel incredibly real. True confidence doesn't seek validation from others, it simply exists. Dakota's image communicated self-acceptance without saying a word, and that silence, it resonated far more deeply than any explanation could have. Strength, she reminded the world, doesn't always roar. Sometimes it quietly exists in its own space and allows the world to adjust, redefining celebrity influence. Dakota Johnson's natural appearance wasn't just a single viral moment, it was a statement about the broader impact of authenticity. In a world obsessed with curated perfection, she demonstrated that influence doesn't always require spectacle. Her visibility, grounded in normalcy and unpolished reality, set an example for millions of fans who feel similar pressures to conform. It showed that celebrities can influence culture simply by being themselves. By not adhering to the prescriptive ideals of beauty, composure, or trend, she encouraged audiences to reconsider what is worthy of admiration. This wasn't a case of coercive influence, asking people to emulate a specific lifestyle or aesthetic. Instead, it was an invitation to reflect, introspect, and connect on a deeper, more human level. Dakota's quiet rebellion encouraged viewers to rethink their assumptions, showing that true influence doesn't have to come from conforming to an ideal. It can come from challenging that very ideal. A reminder of human connection. At its core, Dakota Johnson's viral moment wasn't just about her, it was a reminder of our collective desire to be seen and accepted as we are. Her unfiltered, authentic presentation bridged the gap between Hollywood perfection and everyday reality. It offered a reflection of self-acceptance, reminding us that confidence doesn't need exaggeration or pretense. In an industry where image is everything, Dakota's moment stood out because it was grounded in honesty. It felt relatable because it reminded people of what is often missing in celebrity culture: genuine, unfiltered honesty. She showed that simply embracing yourself without the need for validation or applause can be the most powerful form of expression. In a world dominated by curated images, Dakota's quiet rebellion was a much-needed reminder that strength, comfort, and connection are found in the simplicity. Challenging unrealistic beauty standards. Dakota Johnson's appearance challenged long-held and unrealistic beauty standards in Hollywood. For decades, the entertainment industry has presented a singular, narrow definition of beauty: flawless skin, rigid body shapes, and eternal youth. Anything outside of that formula was often dismissed or scrutinized. That's why Dakota's appearance, unpolished, unfiltered, and unapologetically real, was so powerful. She didn't try to make a statement. She didn't need to create controversy. By simply existing as she is, Dakota disrupted the dominant narrative. She rejected the expectation to shrink or alter her body to fit the mold. Instead, she embraced her natural beauty and sent a subtle message. Beauty isn't about perfection or conformity. It's about self-acceptance and individuality. Her moment was a quiet defiance against the pervasive culture of body shaming in the media, showing that authenticity is both radical and necessary. Why representation truly matters. Representation goes beyond diversity and inclusion. It's about showing that every person's existence, in all its variations, is valid and visible. Dakota Johnson's decision to embrace her natural body resonates because it challenges the visual standards that dominate the media. When we're constantly exposed to edited images, carefully constructed lighting, and idealized body types, it can create the false belief that anything outside those ideals is flawed. Dakota's presence, unaltered and unapologetic, interrupts that cycle. It offers viewers, especially young women, a realistic reflection of themselves. This kind of representation is both affirming and liberating. It shows that self-worth doesn't depend on fitting into someone else's standards. By existing authentically in public, Dakota demonstrates that confidence comes naturally when we accept ourselves. Her example empowers others to embrace their own bodies and personalities, reclaiming control over self-perception in the process. Confidence without explanation. One of the most striking aspects of Dakota Johnson's viral moment was what she didn't do. She didn't post a manifesto or explain her choices. She didn't frame it as an act of bravery or attempt to contextualize her appearance. Instead, she simply existed as herself, allowing her image to speak volumes without commentary. In a world where women are constantly expected to justify or explain their bodies, Dakota's silence was revolutionary. It conveyed that confidence doesn't require permission, validation, or rationale. She normalized self-acceptance by refusing to defend herself or explain her appearance. That calm, quiet confidence challenged the culture of constant scrutiny and judgment. It's a powerful reminder that true self-assurance isn't performative. It exists within, radiating outward naturally and offering the world a glimpse of what real confidence looks like. The lasting impact of choosing real Dakota. Johnson's decision to embrace authenticity in a world dominated by illusion has lasting consequences. This wasn't about one fleeting viral moment. It was about choosing to show up as herself, grounded in reality, in a space that often values only perfection. Her choice to prioritize comfort, confidence, and honesty over curated performances offers a model for how we can all show up in our own lives. Dakota's quiet defiance serves as a reminder that confidence isn't about meeting someone else's standard. It's about rejecting the expectation to conform to one. Her authenticity has sparked important conversations about beauty, self-acceptance, and representation, and its ripple effects are far-reaching. The beauty of choosing real, as Dakota demonstrated, is that it resonates far deeper than any perfectly curated image ever could.